You twist the key in the front door and step into the silence. The house smells faintly of old paint and cold drywall, like it's been holding its breath. Outside, a January wind scrapes across the cul-de-sac, shoving brittle oak branches against power lines, and the sky hangs low and gray, heavy the way a market feels right before something breaks. Your phone buzzes, another price cut notification, then another. In the Chicago suburbs, the dream that once sold itself, good schools, easy commutes, stable neighborhoods, has started hemorrhaging value month after month. The signs are everywhere. Longer days on market, listings that relaunch like nothing happened, and sellers bargaining with reality. Welcome back to Brickline Market Watch. Subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear isn't a single bad quarter. It's a countdown through the Illinois cities where home values are crumbling in slow motion. And by the time we reach number 1, you'll understand why the clock is suddenly loud. Number 10, Aurora, Illinois. You roll in off I-88 with the river cutting through town like a dark ribbon. Old brick factories standing beside new subdivisions that used to feel unstoppable. Aurora was long treated as the value play west of Chicago. Now, that bargain reputation is turning into a problem. The market's last clear peak hit in 2022, when bidding wars pushed the median sale price near $320,000, and buyers chased space for remote work. The city benefited from spillover demand, expanding logistics jobs, and families fleeing higher Cook County costs. Now, the numbers turn concerning. Redfin shows the median hovering around $275,000, roughly 14% below the peak. Zillow figures track a cooling price per square foot from about $195 to $175. Local MLS reports indicate inventory up around 35% year over year, with days on market stretching from 18 to 34. Roughly 32% of listings are carrying price reductions, and sales volume is down about 22% compared with 2022. Realtor.com data in the area points to fewer hot homes and more stale relists, while rent growth has flattened and vacancy has ticked higher in mid-tier complexes. The pressure comes from higher mortgage rates, rising commuter costs, and property tax uncertainty that makes affordable feel temporary. As you leave Aurora behind, the market doesn't collapse. It loosens, thread by thread, and the outlook stays fragile. Number 9, Joliet, Illinois. You enter Joliet under a canopy of overpasses and rail lines, a city built on movement, trucks, trains, and warehouse schedules humming like a heartbeat. It used to be seen as resilient, blue-collar stability plus exurban growth. Today, that stability is wobbling. Joliet's modern peak landed in 2022, when the median climbed near $290,000 and new construction fed demand from Chicago buyers seeking more house for less. Logistics expansion and pandemic-era migration fueled the surge. Now it's troubling. According to Redfin, the median sits near $245,000, about 15% off peak. Zillow suggests typical values are sliding in the low single digits year over year, while price per square foot has dropped from roughly $185 to $160. Local MLS indicators show inventory up around 40%, and days on market widening from 16 to 37. Price cuts are common. About 35% of active listings show reductions. CoreLogic trend data in many Midwest metros shows investor activity pulling back. Joliet feels that with cash offers thinning and flips sitting longer. Sales volume is down roughly 25%, and affordability has deteriorated as principal and interest payments remain high, even when prices soften. Rising property taxes in Will County and insurance premiums creeping upward squeeze monthly budgets. As you drive out past the industrial parks, the market feels like a tire losing air. Slow, steady, and hard to ignore. Number 8. Elgin, Illinois. You arrive with the Fox River cutting through winter-bare trees, historic homes lining older streets that once felt like a hidden gem. Elgin carried a reputation for character and relative affordability with commuter access. The problem is that affordability has been crushed by the payment math. Elgin's peak ran through 2022, when the median pushed toward $340,000 and renovated inventory drew buyers priced out of closer-in suburbs. Low rates and remote flexibility fed that climb. Now it's alarming. Redfin pricing puts the median around $290,000, roughly 15% down. Zillow figures show values flattening and then slipping as listings linger. Local MLS reports point to inventory up about 45%, with days on market expanding from 14 to 39s. Roughly 38% of listings show price reductions. Price per square foot has eased from around $205 to $180, and sales volume is down about 27% from the frenzy years. Investor purchases have thinned, and rental vacancy has edged up in older multifamily stock as tenants shop harder and concessions return. Meanwhile, the gap between wages and monthly payments remains brutal. Even modest homes carry a financing burden that feels like luxury. Higher insurance costs and Illinois tax perceptions keep buyers cautious. As Elgin fades in the rear view, the market doesn't just cool. It starts unraveling, and the next stops get worse. Number 7. Naperville, Illinois. You cross into Naperville and everything looks polished. Parkways trimmed even in winter. Downtown lights reflecting off the Riverwalk like the city is trying to stay warm. For years, Naperville was the gold standard. Schools, safety, and prestige. That's why the shift feels so jarring. The peak arrived in 2022, when the median sale price climbed near $600,000, powered by high-income buyers, tight inventory, and a belief that prime suburbs don't fall. Remote work made big lots, and home offices irresistible. Now the data turns sharper. Redfin shows the median nearer $520,000, about 13% below peak, and the high-end segment has softened more. Zillow indicates typical values stagnating, then slipping as days accumulate. Local MLS numbers suggest inventory up around 55%, with days on market stretching from 12 to 133. Roughly 30% of listings now cut price, unthinkable in 2021. Price per square foot has dropped from around $260 to $235, and sales volume is down about 28% from peak churn. Affordability has been crushed. Even a 10% price drop doesn't offset the interest rate shock, so the buyer pool narrows to the most qualified households. High property taxes, often $12,000 to $18,000 annually, add weight to every mortgage payment. As you leave Naperville behind, you can feel the prestige veneer cracking, and the decline grows more serious from here. Number 6. Schaumburg, Illinois. You drive into Schaumburg beneath a skyline of office parks and retail corridors, the kind of place that once screamed corporate stability. It was long viewed as a safe, middle to upper market, anchored by jobs and access. Now, those same fundamentals are under strain. The peak hit in 2022 when the median climbed near $360,000, riding low rates and steady professional employment. The area benefited from suburban demand and buyers escaping city uncertainty. Now it's troubling, edging toward alarming. Redfin places the median around $310,000, down roughly 14%. Zillow figures show values slipping as inventory stacks. Local MLS reports indicate inventory up about 50%, with days on market widening from 13 to 36. About 34% of listings show price reductions, and sales volume is down near 26%. Price per square foot has eased from around $210 to $185. Investor purchases have fallen as margins evaporate, and rental vacancy in some older complexes has risen, forcing concessions that ripple back into investor demand. Affordability metrics remain harsh. The monthly payment on a median home remains far higher than in 2021, even with price softness. Commercial real estate weakness and hybrid work office downsizing damage local confidence, while taxes keep pressure on budgets. As Schaumburg falls away, the market feels like it's crumbling at the edges, quietly but relentlessly. If you're finding this data-driven analysis useful, like the video and comment which city surprises you most. Your engagement helps us continue this research. Number 5. Tinley Park, Illinois. You enter Tinley Park with wide suburban roads and familiar chain store comfort. The kind of place families once described as steady. For years, it sat in that sweet spot, accessible, safe, and easier than the north and west suburbs. That stability is slipping. Tinley's peak came in 2022, with the median near $320,000 after a rapid pandemic-era run-up. Demand was driven by first-time buyers, move-up families, and buyers looking to stay outside Central Cook's highest costs, while keeping Chicago within reach. Now it's alarming. According to Redfin, the median sits near $270,000, around 16% below peak. Zillow shows typical values, flattening, and then dipping as listings build. Local MLS reports indicate inventory up roughly 60%, and days on market expanding from 15 to 41. Roughly 40% of listings are posting price reductions. Sales volume is down near 30% versus 2022, and price per square foot has slipped from about 190 to 165. CoreLogic distress signals in many markets show early-stage delinquencies rising. Tinley's buyers feel the squeeze as monthly payments collide with high taxes and everyday costs. Rental vacancy has also nudged upward, reducing investor appetite. Cook County taxes, often $7,000 to $12,000 a year, hit like a second mortgage. As you leave Tinley Park behind, the market doesn't wobble. It staggers, and the next cities look even more severe. Number 4. Orland Park, Illinois. You glide into Orland Park through manicured neighborhoods and sprawling shopping centers that once signaled upper-middle security. Historically, this was a place where values felt protected by reputation. But protection fades when demand evaporates. Orland Park peaked in 2022 with a median around $400,000, powered by move-up buyers and low-rate refinancing cycles that locked in homeowners and tightened supply. Families paid a premium for space, schools, and perceived calm. Now it's severe. Redfin pricing puts the median closer to $330,000, about 17% below peak. Zillow figures show a cooling trajectory as new listings outpace buyers. Local MLS data indicates inventory up around 70%, with days on market widening from 114 to 45. About 42% of listings have reduced price. Sales volume is down about 32% from 2022, and price per square foot has fallen from roughly $210 to $180. Investor purchases have dropped sharply as rent growth stalls. Rental vacancy has climbed, pushing landlords into concessions. Affordability has turned crushing. Mortgage payments remain elevated enough that even well-qualified buyers hesitate, waiting for deeper cuts. High taxes in Cook County and rising insurance. Premiums squeeze budgets, while remote work weakens the urgency to buy near commuter routes. As Orland Park disappears behind you, the market feels like a wall with fractures spreading, still standing, but visibly failing. Number 3. Oak Lawn, Illinois. You arrive in Oak Lawn with tight-knit blocks and a blue-collar suburban rhythm, the kind of place that used to feel immune to drama. It carried a reputation for practicality, solid homes, proximity to the city, and predictable demand. That predictability is now collapsing. The peak struck in 2022, when the median ran toward $280,000, lifted by first-time buyers and ultra-low rates that made monthly payments feel manageable. Easy access to I-294, and the city kept demand hot. Now, the decline is devastating. According to Redfin, the median sits around $230,000, roughly 18% down. Zillow figures show typical values easing as buyers retreat. Local MLS reports indicate inventory up close to 75%, and days on market expanding from 12 to 46. Roughly 45% of listings have price reductions. Sales volume is down around 34%, and price per square foot has slid from about $185 to $155. Foreclosure filings remain far below 2008 levels, but county records show distress activity ticking upward in pockets as payment shock and job volatility bite. Rental vacancy has risen, and investor demand has cooled as cap rates struggle to outrun taxes and insurance. Cook County taxes, often $6,000 to $10,000 annually, turn affordable into a mirage. As you pull away from Oak Lawn, the market feels like it's hemorrhaging confidence, and the final two are worse. Number 2, Cicero, Illinois. You cross into Cicero, and the streets feel dense with history. Brick 2 flats, corner storefronts, and the hum of traffic that never fully stops. For years, Cicero was a working-class stronghold, where ownership felt achievable. Now the math is breaking families. The peak rolled through 2022, when the median hovered near $300,000 and multifamily. Buyers competed hard, betting on stable rents and proximity to Chicago jobs. Low rates and tight supply supercharged the climb. Now it's catastrophic. Redfin shows the median near $240,000, about 20% below peak. Zillow figures reflect typical values weakening as inventory rises. Local MLS data indicates inventory up roughly 80%, and days on market expanding from March 11 to 48. Around 48% of listings have cut price. Sales volume is down near 36%, and price per square foot has dropped from around $200 to $165. Investor purchases have fallen sharply as rent growth stalls and maintenance costs surge. CoreLogic trends on mortgage stress show delinquencies rising in affordability-crushed areas. Cicero feels it as buyers run into a wall of high rates, plus high taxes. Rental vacancy is rising in older units, forcing concessions that ripple back into values. Property taxes and insurance costs grind margins, while wage growth can't keep up with payments. As you leave Cicero behind, the market doesn't just soften, it collapses inward, pointing straight at number 1. Number 1, Harvey, Illinois. You enter Harvey under a sky that looks bruised. Winter winds sweeping litter across empty lots like the city is shedding what it can't hold. The streets tell a harsher story. Boarded windows, aging blocks, and for sale signs that seem permanent. Harvey has been associated with distress for years, but now the housing market is in freefall. The last meaningful peak came in 2021-2022, when the median climbed near $120,000, lifted by investor speculation, cheap credit, and buyers searching for the lowest entry point anywhere near Chicago. It was fragile growth built on thin ice. Now the numbers are brutal. According to Zillow, typical values sit closer to $90,000, a drop near 25% from the peak. Redfin shows a median sale price often fluctuating lower, month to month, with price per square foot sliding from about $120 to $90. Local MLS reports indicate inventory up around 90%, and days on market swelling from 120 to 60 plus. Roughly 55% of listings are cutting price. Sales volume is down near 40%, and county records reflect elevated levels of tax delinquency and distress transfers. Investor demand has evaporated as rehab costs, vacancy, and risk overwhelm returns. Rental vacancy is rising, and rent collections are less reliable, making financing harder. High crime perception, municipal financial strain, and a shrinking buyer pool create a self-reinforcing spiral. As you leave Harvey behind, the market feels like a building with its supports kicked out, collapsing, and not rebuilding soon. The countdown took you from concerning cracks in outer suburbs to a devastating collapse where value evaporates month after month. Across these Illinois cities, the theme is the same: higher rates, rising taxes, and buyer demand retreating faster than sellers can accept reality. The market isn't just cooling, it's unraveling, with affordability crushed and inventory piling up like snowdrifts that won't melt. If you own in one of these areas, watch your local data weekly, not yearly. If you're buying, negotiate like the clock is on your side, because right now, it is. Subscribe, like the video, and drop a comment with the suburb you want analyzed next. Until next time, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and I'll see you in the next countdown.